Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My name is Abdul-Nasir. I'm an imam and a resident of Dallas, Texas. I, alhamdulillah, had the opportunity to study overseas for many years and study with scholars. And alhamdulillah, I've also had the opportunity to teach people Islamic studies in Arabic full time. The reason why I'm telling you this is, alhamdulillah, by the blessing of Allah, I've come from a serious academic background in Arabic and Islamic studies. I've also taught at the university level Arabic studies and Middle Eastern studies. Now, my first experience of going to a Mina camp was going to be the first time that I was ever interacting and I was ever going to see this entire scene of Islamic activity. And to be very honest with you, like many of the viewers, many of the people watching this video might be thinking, what's going on at a camp, at a youth camp? They're probably just playing games, staying up late at night, and it's probably just a lot of fun. Fine, there's some good in that, kids just having fun, learning how to be Muslim and have a good time at the same time, but there's really not much accomplished at these camps. At least that's the impression a lot of people might have, who are very productive, who are very ambitious and are very serious in achieving their goals. But when I got to the Mina camp, I was taken by surprise. The reality was quite the opposite. Yes, these kids were having fun. These kids were having a good time. But the amount of work these kids were doing, what they were accomplishing was astonishing. Goal number one, these kids were praying 5 times a day in congregation. In the United States, that is so rare to come across. One of my shuyukh, one of my teachers, he actually even said as an observation, he visited the US and went around and gave lectures, and his observation was a wali in America, like a true friend of Allah in America, is probably somebody who has the ability to pray 5 times a day in congregation, in jama'ah. And these kids are doing that not just for 1 day, 2 days, but for a week, for 10 days. As long as the camp is, these kids are praying 5 times a day in congregation, which is an amazing feat in and of itself. On top of that, after every prayer, these kids are reading adhkar, they're making dua, making supplications. Every day they memorize a new supplication. And I don't mean like a supplication in English, I mean like a long, lengthy, like actually this morning after Salat al-Fajr, they learned the supplication, La ilaha illallah wahda, La ilaha illallah wahda, La sharika la, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa huwa ala kulli shayin qadir. With the translation, they memorize the entire supplication. So these are the type of things they're accomplishing. They're learning to give khatiras. Each student, each child, each youngster attending this camp is writing their own khatira and then delivering it after one of the prayers. They're making presentations on Islam, how to talk to non-Muslims about their religion. They're learning about the Quran. They're developing a passion for prayer. Another speaker and myself, we actually were just sitting there watching the kids pray sunnah and nawafil after the prayer. Astonishing, right? I mean, think about how much trouble you have making your own children pray their sunnah and their nawafil, let alone the fard, let alone sunnah and nawafil. We were watching these children serenely, calmly taking their time and praying their sunnah and nawafil. So much is being accomplished. They're learning knowledge, they're learning ilm. Knowledgeable imams and scholars and speakers are coming through here, imparting valuable knowledge to these youth. They're running the entire camp by themselves. It's absolutely amazing. And then on top of that, the most amazing people that I met at this camp, who to me honestly were volunteers extraordinaire. I was like, wow, these are amazing leaders. And come to find out, these are all Mina alumni. These are all people that 8 years ago, 10 years ago, they all attended Mina camps, and that gave them the foundation and the inspiration and the motivation to become amazing people today. The people running this camp are Mina alumni. I met a sister who's leading a sisters tafsir study circle in the locality where she's from. She has about like a dozen mothers, young mothers, and they're all systematically studying the tafsir of the Quran and memorizing the surahs that they learned the tafsir for. She's a Mina alumni. The brother who was recording videos and taking pictures and filming the entire camp is another Mina alumni. All the leadership that were there at the camp were all Mina alumni. So some of the most amazing people, productive people, contributing members of their community and their society are graduating from these camps and finding their motivation, their inspiration, and their foundation at these camps. So it's really a worthwhile project, and if anybody is watching these videos, if you have the means, the time, the money, the finances to support these type of camps, please do so. This is an invaluable investment into your akhirah. It's a sadaqah jariyah. And I'll leave you with one last thought. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says, مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدْ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. What remains with you will perish one day, will expire, will cease to exist. But what you send ahead to Allah, what you invest with Allah, will remain for all of eternity. Invest in our children, in our youth, and invest in your own akhirah. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum.